Are you tired of using the same old building materials in your in-game world? Then do I have a mod for you. In this mod spotlight, we'll be taking a closer look at all the amazing features and benefits that the Wildcraft Trees mod has to offer. The Wildcraft Trees mod was created by the talented Catastroid, and it adds a plethora of new trees and their wood materials to the game. You can easily find the mod on the official Vintage Story website, and it works seamlessly with the latest versions of the game. One of the coolest things about the Wildcraft Trees mod is the variety of wood that it adds to the game. Each type of wood has its own unique properties, and they all look amazing. In addition to the new building materials and gameplay elements, the Wildcraft Tree mod also adds a new level of depth to the game's exploration system. Some of the new materials can only be found in certain biomes, so players will need to explore the world in order to find them all. So let's take a nice little deep dive and take a look at the woods that we get. And what I've done is kind of set up a little area here where I've put a couple of blocks in so we can kind of see how they all work together. So what you have is you have the normal wood that you would find in the wild. You have the debarked version, and then you have what the door would look like. What the stairs and slab and the leaded glass panes would look like. And I know, you know, some people like to build with different stone types. Me, I'm partial to just a very few of them, and those would be the chert, the limestone, the basalt, the conglomerate, and the claystone. Of all of these, especially when you're talking about the stone brick varieties, I would say probably chert and claystone are my two favorites. Probably conglomerate would be my third. But here you can see how these wood patterns kind of work with each one. So I think this is a very good wood. This is the Saxual, and it's very good wood that works with pretty much every layer. Now, it might be a little too muted to work with limestone, but as far as working with these other ones, I think it really does a good job. I'm not going to say this is my favorite wood. You'll see my favorite one here in a little bit. Here's another one we're looking at, the sycamore. I do like the sycamore. I don't like the door so much of that wood. I do like the door from this one. But this sycamore wood works really good with all of these, I think. Again, maybe a little too muted for that. But see how that contrast between the black and the white that shows up? I don't know. That's kind of cool. I like it. If you're looking for something a little different, that might be it. Now, truly, everybody's going to look at this and say, spruce, yeah, that works. I love the way the stairs work and the planks and that. Not so happy with the door. I think this little area of the door just seems a little off to me. But look at how that wood works between those two, between these colors. Yes, that's very nice. And the black actually comes out very strong on the colors of these. But it's definitely one that you can use with any stone. Get a look at some of these other ones that we've got. Lots of trees to go over. Here we go. We've got the Douglas fir. Douglas fir will come in different sizes. You have the singulars. You have Douglas fir back there, those nice tall ones that show up. So a lot like the redwoods do. Look at this wood. Now, I could see where this wood could work, maybe not as a primary piece. The debarked version, I think, works pretty good. Again, I'm not a big fan of the reds that show up in it. I think this door would look better if maybe that color was more accentuated into it. I think that would work out better. But it works really good with all of these different stone pieces, so I'm not too upset with that one. This is the willow. This is probably one of my favorite ones for the door. I really like the way it works. I'm not a big fan of how it works in the shadows. I've talked about this before. You need to look at the wood from different angles and different light levels. I'm not a big fan of it in the shadows. It just seems too muted by the light. But when the light's on it, it definitely works really good. Love the way that one looks. And I'm not a big fan of pinks, but the honey locust, I had to do it because it doesn't grow very tall, but the honey locust wood, I know there's some people out there that would really like this. I'm not a big fan of it. I could see it working if I wanted to mix this piece in with something else and do a multi-block chisel piece. I can see doing that. It would work very well with any kind of the chert stones. But anyway, so that is the honey locust. Oh, I don't know about you, but I love this beer nut wood. So the wood itself doesn't look like anything spectacular. You'll see a little bit of the green that shows up in there. I really like it. If you look at this wood, I love that color. It works so well. This is by far my favorite wood color here. It goes very well with the chert. It goes very, very well with the limestone. Conglomerate, clay stone, basalt. I really don't think you can go wrong with using any of these going with this wood type. Absolutely spectacular. I love it. All right, this one's a little bit different. You will see a couple of smaller, thinner trees. You've got the alder, and you're also going to have the bright and white. These are going to be more for landscaping trees. You're not going to be able to do much. Bright and white, I saw no uses for it in the handbook. Alder, the only thing I saw was the wattle fences. But I think this wattle fence just by itself is well worth it. I mean, look at that. As far as being able to use that for a bunch of different things, just for building a container, for, you know, actually putting in fencing around gardens. I don't know. Beautiful. Love it. Again, this is just going to be an accent tree. Not much there, but it's nice having a little bit of variety, seeing the thinner barks or thinner trunks. Okay, so the black poplar, sorry. It does not have a debarked version, which I think is kind of sad. I would like to see it. Again, this one is a little too bright for me, but I do like the door. There's no red in it. So that door does seem very appealing to me. It does work with all the colors. And this is going to be a very interesting. I wanted you to see this kind of firsthand. There's not a whole lot of difference between these two woods, in my opinion. But look at the difference in how these woods contrast together. You see how you have in the pyramidal poplar. If you see, these look so much darker compared to these over here, especially when you start looking at this side and you come over. It really does pull the colors more out of this. And I thought at first it was a lighting situation, but it's not. It's actually the way that you're seeing the wood react with the stone around it. So it really does a wonderful job. So I love that. I think this is a good combination if you wanted to use these woods and these stones and these woods and these stones. You might actually get 4 different textures out of there. That's pretty cool. Okay, here's a very interesting one, the beech log. Very interesting. I like this. I think I like this as a wood pattern for the floor more than I do like the door, or even more than I like the debarked version. But it does work very well whenever you're looking at something that you want to do. Think about the ebony wood in the base game and about that tiger stripe look that it creates with that dark undertone. This is the exact same thing. So if you were to take some of that, let's do that real quick. Let's grab, oops, cancel that. Ebony. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about here. Yeah, see? That works so well together. It really would. So that would be an absolutely fantastic combination if you were so inclined, if you wanted to create a floor, especially like a checkerboard floor or parquet floor. That would be a pretty cool one. Okay, again, I don't like the red. This is the cedar log. The cedar tree itself is gorgeous. The debarked version is phenomenal. Well done. I love those. I am going to do this real quick because I want you to get a look as you're looking down on here if you wanted to chisel this out. Really good grain pattern. So I'm pretty happy with that. Not a big fan of the door, but I can see everything else working very good with everything. And I went ahead and threw some andesite down here because I was kind of curious between the blues and the blacks mixing against that. How would it look? And really, that works really well. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every week, so don't miss out. A few more trees to look at. There's a bunch. I'm not even kidding. Get over here and take a look at some of the more unique ones. The elm. This reminds me a lot of the walnut. That's why I put a walnut plank down there just so you can kind of see basically the same texture as the walnut, but more gray, less browns in it. So if you're a fan of the walnut texture, but you're wanting a different color, this would be the color of choice. Kind of contrast, or not a lot of contrast between the limestone. Might not work in that situation, but I think it works very well with the clay stone. Okay, I'm going to look up and I'm going to show you what I think has to be one of the most amazing wood patterns that's in this mod. Okay, you ready? Look at that. The eucalyptus log. Eucalyptus trees are just amazing in themselves. That just looks like it's going to smell delicious, but the wood itself, I don't know. It's kind of lacking. It works. Don't get me wrong. It works. If you look at this pattern on here, I like seeing the different flecks of color. Let me get down here a little bit closer so you can see it. You can see there's so many different pixel colors in there that are going to show up. And this one, I think, actually look at it from the dark side. You can see how it really stands out. So if in an inside area versus an outside area, it would do really good inside a build. Agreed? Look at that. From the, where you got the light on the outside, that's gorgeous. So definitely a cool one that I would like to have in. Oh, the mahogany. I love mahogany wood in real life. And this is another one. I do enjoy this wood. I'm not a big fan of reds. However, I think if you're wanting to do a library, you would definitely want the mahogany in there. And that works well with any of these. I went ahead and threw andesite down here too, just so we can get a look at how it works with the blues. I don't think there's a log that you could put down next to, or a stone that you could put down next to this that would not look smexy all by itself. So definitely something you want to add into your building. This is from the sal tree, and this is if you were wanting to build a gingerbread house, or if you're wanting to build like a big doll house. I could see where this could be. I'm not a big fan of this wood. I like the way the texture is on this. It's a little bit different from the other textures of the other trees. So it seems like it's a different pattern, and I like what they've done with it. I could see where this could be of benefit. It's not something that I'm interested in myself, but you can see it does work with all these base stones. So if it's going to work with these stones, it will work with granite and andesite as well. All right, you see that ruin in the distance? That's from the Better Ruins mod. Those things are full of a lot of amazing loot and things to find, but also a lot of dangers. We're going to go check out one of those in our next episode as we continue going through the Modded to the Max series, Season 2. Hope you'll be with me. Hey, thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.